Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Gravecrawler here, and today I wanted to bring you a review for the new raid deck called the Vault Trials from Rising Empire Studios. It's been out for a couple of weeks now. I've managed to play it only solo, but a good number of times now, about 10-ish times, maybe a little bit more, and I've played it with both the contenders within the box and also with external contenders that I have access to as well. So I feel like I did want to wait a little while to do this review just to make it a little bit more comprehensive, but I want to put something out there to show people what this product is about, just in case, and to give them a bit more of an educated decision as to whether it's a product that's for them. But if you want the TLDR straight off the bat, I love it. It's great. It's really, really good. I think it is the direction for me personally that I actually hope Alpha Clash leans into a lot more, but it has been an absolute pleasure. So let's start by talking about the game length. About an hour. You can... To start with, it's much longer, but you will get more versed in all the cards and the setup, etc. And I've got it down to about an hour now, and I think that is a good length of time. I think if it was much longer, I personally have concentration issues beyond about the hour and a half-ish stage. I think if it was much lower than, say, 45 minutes, I feel like I'd want a bit more depth, a bit more crunch to the puzzle. So yeah, game length has been a big positive for me. The next positive I wanted to talk about was ease to the table. I lack in time sometimes, and also I find that this is a personal thing, but I have a barrier to entry when it comes to tabling a game. I have a plethora of board games, and I always find that very often the ones that get played the most are ones that are easy to table. And I think this game has that very much so. It's 3 decks that you shuffle up, a couple of extra cards, a portal, and your contender, and you are ready to go. Especially if you're familiar with Alpha Clash rules, you can be going in like a minute. It's very good for that. Also, with the fact that there's 3 decks, and that there is multiple contenders to run against, and the role system that's in the game, just because it's easy to table and there's just a couple of decks, it is also highly replayable. I can't stress that enough. It's really impressive on that front as well. I have been really impressed with how easy it is to table and how modular it is in terms of its design. Big thumbs up for that. And also to say further, there is red text that goes across the bottom of the cards. That is to increase the difficulty as well. So even if you've seen all the cards before and you keep consistently winning over and over again, you can up the difficulty, and it literally has entirely different abilities on many of these cards. So big thumbs up from the design team for that one. The next one I wanted to talk about is the fact that I, so far, haven't managed to break the game yet. And what I mean by that is there's a good number of keywords in the product, a good number of rules, especially on the contenders, that are stopping me from what I'm going to call like using cheesy strategies of just, I don't know, board wipes with non-clash damage, or using clarity to just send cards to Oblivion over and over again. There is things that stop enter Oblivion effects. There is things that stop non-clash damage or punish with doubt counters that stop these strategies. So I've been really impressed by that so far. Have not managed to break the game yet. So again, big thumbs up on design team again for that one. Next one, we've got the fact that there is, and this is probably the biggest game changer for the product for me, especially versus the first one, and that is that there is 2 decks in the box. This is fantastic. It just means that you've got a self-contained product that newer players can pick up that have 2 cool decks inside them, and it means that you can use them against each other as well, which is really fun. But yeah, big thumbs up to the design. I will show on screen now the 2 contenders. They are Clarity here and Master Zephyrion there. Both good contenders. I would say for me personally, out of the two, I think Clarity is probably the stronger contender. And I know this is PvP based now, so this is a bit tangential, but the Progenitor's Gambit, there was a Clarity that did manage to top 8 in that. So I don't know if that, take from that what you will, but I think Clarity is very strong personally. But these decks are both really decent. I've been really impressed by, I guess, they've, again, to complement the design team, I think they are both good enough to do the Vault trials, but they are not so good that they stomp the trial either. I think it's just about good enough that it's not frustrating, because I've played games, so Lorcana is a great example. I have played the Reign of Jafar PvE for Lorcana, and I love the product, and we're going to talk about it more in comparison, because I think these two products are very comparable to one another. But the Reign of Jafar, the decks that come inside them are just filler, is the best way to describe them. They have one or two cards that are half decent, and the rest of it is, it's just I don't want to say a mess of cards, but it is not very cohesive, and I think the power level was severely lacking. This pitches itself correctly to me, where it's about in the middle, where I do feel like it's possible, but I feel like it's going to be a big challenge for you to overcome. And this is from the other side of things, I do think that it's easy to say, well, why not just have full-powered, top-tier, contenders, really refined? It's nice to deck build. It's nice to have that, I want more. I want to be able to go away and be like, I want to put this card in and that card in. I think there's something to be said for that side of things as well. But I think they've really done a great job with both these series. So again, great. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. They've both done a really, really good job. Just looking at my notes here. What else is there? Art direction. Yes, art direction. Now, this is a subjective point for me, but let me just flick to a couple of cards for a second. I have been a bit critical with Alpha Clash in regards to the art direction. So for anybody that's not familiar, they shifted to using pretty much mostly art from their comic books. And I love this in many respects, because it means that they can use assets multiple times, because they are a smaller company at the end of the day. And I think this is a smart use of, making a piece of art just to be used once, especially with some of these are incredible, I think is a bit of a shame. So I think this is a really good way of them saving costs. And also for us as consumers, I think it's important to mention that I think there's a thematic narrative element to it as well. It's so cool being like, I remember reading that in this section, and now it's on a card as well. I love that. However, I think at the start of that transition, I felt like the framing of how that was done, and also the speech bubbles, was poorly implemented on some cards. Now, why am I raising this? Because I think this product has nailed it. I think the art in this is brilliant. It's so cool. I've just picked out a few cards here that were some of my favorites, but I think the framing on these is really well done. And this is what I wanted to talk about as well. Speech bubbles, I was mentioning them before. They have now implemented it, in my opinion, correctly, where it is not covering any important information. You have not got massive blocks of speech bubbles on top of heavy rules that are written on Clash cards. They put it on cards like this, where it's a very vanilla creature. So big thumbs up. Same with this card as well, to them on the art direction. So yeah, thank you so much for that, because I know I've been critical of that one, but I think you've really, really done a great job with that one. What else was there? So for someone with a large collection like me, yes, it's been really fun to make decks with other contenders outside of these boxes. Outside of this box. I've been playing with Pestilence. I've played with Original Death. I've played with Shadowblade. It's been so cool to just be like, is this, brew. I love brewing decks in this game. It's one of my favorite things about Alpha Clash is that I feel like the meta between the bounty system, the smaller community, those things, as well as the fact that it's competitive as well, come together to create this kind of like always evolving meta. And I always feel like as a deck builder, I don't know, I guess I feel rewarded for it. So yeah, been really enjoying it. It's definitely interesting that some are better than others, although I've been having debates with people on the Discord, and for example, I remember saying on one of the days, I don't know about Pestilence, Toxin Pestilence. I don't think he's very good because one of his abilities refers to your opponent discarding cards from hand. Irrelevant in this game mode. However, someone came back and said, well, that's true, but the Toxin counters can actually silence effects on Clash cards, and I think that's strong enough to warrant looking at. And to their credit, I went away and played it, and actually I completely agree now, and I loved stuff like that. It's really, really cool to kind of peel back the layers, so to speak, on contenders and look at them in a new light as well in PvE. So yeah, I've been really, really enjoying that. It's just, I suppose it's rewarding to collectors like me to play it in a new way, and also allow me to play physical Alpha Clash a lot more. And actually to come in on that as well, I think this is so important for the future of Alpha Clash. I think a game that I can play solo, I unfortunately don't have a local community by me to play the game. So being able to play solo has been so nice to just shuffle up, because there's nothing like, for me, playing the physical cards. And now giving me a true outlet to do that has been great. But it also means that I think between this product and hopefully more, well, we know more PvE to come, then you have the online leagues that Alpha Clash are now running as well to bring the global community together. And then you have the physical competitive events like your Clash Grounds and your Progenitor's Gambit. I just think it's servicing multiple crowds at multiple levels of play. So yeah, I really hope that there is more PvE. Well, we know that there is at least one other one to come, but for me, I hope that actually it's a cornerstone of Alpha Clash going forward myself. So yeah, that's another big positive for me. The next point I wanted to raise was, I guess, a neutral point. It might be a positive point, but it's more something to say, I could see a world in which someone wants to pick this up, and I think in some ways this is a great entry-level product because it's a PvE product, not a PvP product. It has multiple decks in it and multiple ways to play. However, the scenario is really difficult, and also it is very heavy on upkeep of lots of effects and rules that are thrown at you. So it isn't actually a new player. In my opinion, it is not a new player product. In many respects, it's a lot more difficult than a new player product. So maybe in the future, it'd be interesting to see a slightly more simplified PvE that is targeted perhaps directly at a new player. Yeah, so that's not necessarily a negative. It's just that I think I just want to set people's expectations with this product, that I probably would still introduce them maybe with a product like this, but I don't think it is an easy product to play. You have to have a good knowledge of Alpha Clash to play it well. I think there's a lot of upkeep on all of these cards, a lot of upkeep. I, as a more veteran player, really struggled still with some of it. So a new player would be very daunted, I believe, by this product. So maybe a slightly stripped back version just for newer players. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, that was just my opinion on that one. Then let's get on to a negative. I've been gushing about this product, and I want it to be known before I go on to a few negatives. This is a slam dunk product. This has been a joy. It is so good. They have clearly learned a lot of lessons from the first one, and I think they have really nailed this one. But let's start with the negative. The box. I love it. It's gorgeous. It's really cool. But let's go back to Lorcana for a moment. We were referencing that earlier. Lorcana, the Reign of Jafar, has a box of a similar size, But it has key features. Within the box, there is individual cardboard deck boxes, and within those cardboard deck boxes is enough space to fit the cards when they are sleeved. This product does not allow you to put sleeved cards back into the box. It drives me crazy. It is such a lovely box, and the inserts are there as well. I do appreciate that there might perhaps be costs associated with this. So, this is more of the business side of things. I don't know how much having a touch more space and adding some cardboard boxes, deck boxes in would add to cost, and therefore maybe passed on to us as the consumer. But if it was not much, I think it would be well worth it. Even if you don't add deck boxes, please just make the inserts big enough for sleeved cards. I would hazard a guess, if you put out a poll tomorrow, 90% of your community would play both with the contenders and with the PvE decks with sleeves. So why not support that rather than I have a box sat next to me right now that I might throw away, and that just feels so wasteful. So yeah, it's just a small thing, but I would really like it if it became, because also I want it pride and place on my shelf. I love having these products that it'd be so cool to have each boss almost like a dragon's head on the wall, so to speak. I have done the Vault Trials, it's there. This is the first deck that I completed it with. Now I don't have that visual representation. Maybe that's just a me thing, but yeah, I would really like a better storage solution for the product itself. What else did I write? Oh, this is I'd say a bigger one and a more important point. I personally felt like the rulebook was lacking in some respects. So it's really cool that it had comic elements in it, and I think it described the game okay. Even that I felt like could have been slightly better explained. Maybe that's just how I read it, but I got actually more out of. There is a fantastic YouTube tutorial for the Vault Trials. I personally got more out of that than I did the rulebook, but I do feel like the rulebook could be clearer. And to go on from that, I do also wish that all the keywords in Alpha Clash were in the booklet. There is times that even as a veteran player, maybe because I played Magic the Gathering for so many years and I play a lot of other card games, but sometimes I have to remind myself on what some of the keywords are again. And having that as a quick reference point would be great. And I totally respect why it may take up a lot more space. I don't know how much space, but a lot more space. But I think that would be important, especially for newer players. And even at worst, if you couldn't put all of them in, I noticed there was keywords that were featured within the decks themselves that were not in the booklet. So at bare minimum, I'd like any rule that you put on any of the cards within this product should be referenced on the sheet. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I came across a few, not more than one, keyword that was not in the book that was featured on a card. So I really would like for that to be the case, because again, if you want this to be in any way a gateway product for newer players, having rules easily accessible is great. And then to piggyback on that a little bit more as well, maybe this is more wishful thinking again, but I would really like if the full Alpha Clash rules were there. Because, again, I've just spoken about the big positive, which is that you can take these and play PvE and PvP. If you don't know how to play Alpha Clash, you now have to go to an external source in order to learn how to play Alpha Clash in the first place. Whereas it'd be great if you had a full, comprehensive guide to how to play the game as well, from a PvP perspective. But yeah, that's just... Yeah, so to overall summarize that, I do think the rulebook could be a little bit better. But yeah, so what did I think overall of this product? I think you could probably gather it is a slam dunk. I don't do ratings, that's not what I do, but it's very, very solid. I think you could play with a friend and introduce them perhaps as a veteran player. I think that would be where a good onboarding would be for newer players. It is great for people like me that don't have a community locally but really want to continue to play physical Alpha Clash games, giving me this new outlet to play the game, and also, quite frankly, a new way to look at cards as well from an analysis perspective and a deck building perspective. There is cards that I don't, quite frankly, would not play in PvE that I'm genuinely considering in PvE now, which is just a delight to use cards in looking cards at a different axis, I suppose. So yeah, really big thumbs up for the product. But yeah, that is it from me, guys. If you enjoy, let me know. Let me know as well in the comments what you think of the product. And that's it for me from now. Bye-bye. Thank you.